stations. Grit high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace of the fields. All sports, all plays.
Well, all right. Scripted and the fun time that we are going to have this evening. It's quite interesting, the sports world as it's unfolding. You got Tiger Woods, who, as you all know, that horrific crash, has finally stepped back foot onto the Masters course today to shoot a practice round, which is really kind of interesting to me because of the fact that if you think coming back off of an accident, you might choose an easier course physically for you. For example, St. Andrews, which is typically a very flat course, just to kind of ease your legs back into it. But no, he goes straight to the Masters with all the elevations that it poses, and here is where we are. So Tiger Woods, hey, I applaud you. You take the bull by the horns. You go for the hardest course to come back on, and I hope that bodes big financial windfalls for you coming forth in the Masters that is getting ready to come up in the near future. On other notes, real quick, and we'll get into this probably more on Thursday. I think we might make this a topic, Logan. But we talked about the Ravens are pissed off at the Cleveland Browns for making that enormous contract that Deshaun Watson signed fully guaranteed. Interesting. So some people are happy to see Tiger Woods come back to the golf course, and others are pissed off to see the guaranteed money that Cleveland is giving their quarterback. So it's a very interesting time in sports. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce the guest now, and we'll get into our first topic. Gonzo, what's up, my brother?
Not a whole lot. Ready to talk some sports. Watching some baseball right now. Just watched Joey Votto hit a line drive right off the pitcher's shoulder. It was a little scary, but hey, that happens sometimes in baseball. People realize baseball is more dangerous than what people think.
Good point.
Guy, if you get hit with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, it's going to freaking hurt. It's going to freaking hurt. Yeah, exactly. Logan, what's up, my brother?
What up, Jay? What up, Chris? We got a good show tonight. And, hey, we're going along, man. We got a busy week this week, Jay, because we're not having 3 shows of Unscripted. We're having 4. Because you know what this weekend is, Jay. Tell the people what we got going on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes. So for those of you wondering what we're talking about, April 2nd, which is a Saturday, and April 3rd, which is a Sunday, is, in fact, WrestleMania. So we will be doing a double show to cover the full entire WrestleMania with the likes of Gonzo, your boy Logan, Frankie the Yankee. I think they're going to have T. Ray Watford, the independent wrestler, come in. And I think maybe Pride from ASAP will be on, and possibly Chris Robinson will be on. So it's going to be a lot of people talking about WrestleMania and all that it entails. So you definitely want to be there for that. I think we'll typically start around 6 or 6:30 on Saturday. We haven't really quite nailed it down. I'll let you guys know more Thursday on the specific time. But right now, it's like between 6 and 6:30. We'll probably do a little pre-show going into it. And leading up to it, I think Gonzo has a live show of his own. He's going to do NXT. Am I right?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so Gonzo will have NXT on his show for Friday Night SmackDown leading into WrestleMania. And you can catch on, I believe it's Gonzo Sports Room. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct, Jay.
All right, so catch Gonzo Sport. Gonzo, what time are you going to start that?
Oh, man. We'll let everybody know for sure on Thursday because I got to look and see exactly what time they
All right, there you go, folks. When Gonzo comes on Thursday,
I think it's 1 or 2
Thursday, he will give you the time for the NXT show on Gonzo Sports Room. All right, folks. Hey, without any further freaking ado, let us get into the show. March Madness, men's. Oh, my Lanta. Did we have a good Elite Eight or what?
Yeah,
and then we break it down into the Final Four. Now, one thing to note, Villanova is going up against Kansas.
Yep.
Guys, it's a hard enough task to go up against Kansas on its own merit without having lost Justin Moore to a torn Achilles the last minute of the Houston.
That video was crucial too. That video was rough.
It was pretty rough. So you got to look. That's their best scorer from a guard's perspective. He also is a great rebounder and also great on defense. He averages 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. So you lose a guy like that, and then you want to go up against the likes of Kansas, which is extremely ferocious in the paint. I'm telling you, man. Hey, look, this is going to be one hell of a game. We'll start there, folks. We'll start there with this game, and then we'll go from there. Gonzo, what do you think about this Villanova taking on Kansas in the Final Four?
I really was leaning real hard toward Kansas winning this game, but with the guy getting hurt, that's going to make it tough. But you also see a lot of times that when injuries like that happen, it also can band the team together, and they can have a momentum going to create some kind of momentum going in that game because they're playing for him and in sorts. You know what I mean? You see that a lot. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be a real close game. But I'm still going to stick with Kansas to win this game and make it to the national championship game. I just think I think that injury is actually going to make them closer. And they're closer than, hey, if you get close and you believe, that's all it takes sometimes.
Hey, Frankie's killing me right now. Frankie, I'm sorry, man. I'm doing I'm
just
sure at the same time, man. Here we go. Hey, Frankie, so we got Frankie's. Hey, and let me tell you something. Well, no, Logan. Well, Logan. Yeah, Logan's got log on credentials. He can share comments too.
I'm not. I ain't logged on, Jay.
There you go. Well, then it all does follow me.
This is on you.
He goes, "What's going on, guy? I will be making my Coke back. Is that Coke back Saturday?"
That's what it says.
Look at the next comeback.
He said Coke back.
Frankie
type right now. Frankie's I think Frankie's about 3 sheets in. What's going on? They're making my comeback on Saturday, and of course he says, "Hey guys, Jason sucks at doing comments," and he says, "Dude, Coach K, this is for you." And I agree, man. Hey, listen, I think we all want Coach K to do great things. Logan, before we get into the whole Duke and North Carolina game, what is your thought process on the tail end of the Villanova and Kansas? Gonzo seems to think that losing Justin Moore, they can still beat Kansas. Do you share that same sentiment?
I mean, he's got a good point, right? I mean, sometimes whenever you lose one of your top players, sometimes the team can rally around that. But on the other hand, they can also fall off the train tracks. I mean, these teams are pretty much even and everywhere across the board, percentages, rebounds, turnovers. I mean, they're pretty much dead even. And with Villanova losing one of their best players, it's going to be even tougher. I mean, they beat Houston by 6. Meanwhile, Kansas won by 5 against Providence. So, I mean, they were both having close battles in the Elite Eight. And, man, it's going to be tough. It really is. I think I'm going to slightly go with Kansas getting the win in this one. I just think they're going to have a little bit more of that star power. And, I mean, you're the number 1 team in your bracket for a reason. And you're supposed to be here. And I think I'm going to go with Kansas getting the win in this one and moving on to the championship game.
Absolutely. That's really the way that I feel about that as well. But like Gonzo said, hey, look, man, things can happen, man. This is college basketball. Anything can happen in college basketball. So it's neither here nor there. Moving on to the Blue River Shootout. I will tell you this, folks. As you know, North Carolina beat here recently Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And, of course, as you know, Duke beat North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So these guys have split the series. Both of them have lost at home. Both of them have won on the road. And interestingly enough, this game is a road game. Now, that means, okay, if it's a road game and they both won on the road, could you imagine how much grittier this game is going to be? I'm telling you, I think this game – now, you got North Carolina coming in with the full head of steam. You got Duke, who just came off an impressive win. And here you go. And correct me if I'm wrong. It was in the Elite Eight that Duke beat Arkansas, correct?
Let me check real
yes.
quick. Yes.
It was Arkansas. Sorry, Houston couldn't make it. Yeah, I get it. To the Final Four. Yeah, I thought they would. I really thought they would too, man. Houston tried their damnedest. They really did, and it just didn't work out for them. But I still put my hats off. Hey, Villanova is a tough team, and if they're going to lose to anybody, I don't mind them losing to Villanova because that's an incredible, talented basketball team. Or Kansas, even Duke. I mean, all three of those teams are just extremely talented. But going back to the Blue River Shootout, this game is probably the highest momentum game ever because neither one of these teams have ever played in a game of this magnitude against each other. So this is the epitome, the creme de la creme in the Blue River Shootout. And I will tell you this, folks. Listen, the momentum in this game is going to be stupid. I mean, not only is Duke – and what does this mean for Coach K's legacy? Not only does he beat his arch nemesis before the championship game, but if he wins the championship game, that's like going out on top twice. You go out on top as beating an arch rival and win the national championship. Could you imagine a more fitting, more appropriate way for Coach K to leave the game of basketball? Gonzo, your thoughts?
I think Duke's going to do it. I think Coach K is going to leave as a national champion. His team has responded to this pressure well. I mean, if you look at it with when you get under the kind of pressure that team's under, the media was burying them, telling them that they let Coach K down because they lost to North Carolina in his last game at Cameron Stadium. Mm. Instead of them putting their heads down, they rallied together and they're playing their best ball in the NCAA tournament. And they surprised me how they handled Arkansas's defense. It made it look easy, really. And so I think Duke has the momentum. I think they're going to beat North Carolina. North Carolina's hotto, but I think Duke's going to win this rubber match.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you on that. And it's going to be one hell of a game. Logan, your thoughts, brother?
Also, Frankie, take that. Put him in timeout, Jay. We'll see what that feature is like. We can actually try it out on Frankie this week. Because Braves going back to being bad. What do you mean? Anyways, talking about this game, right? You got some classic combinations, right? You got peanut butter and jelly. You got baseball and apple pie. Jay and a handle of Jack Daniels. It just fits perfectly. Duke and North Carolina.
It does fit. And if I'm lucky, I get some cherry Coca-Cola with my Jack. It's even better.
There you go. I know Jay's going to have a few of those on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, this is crazy that both these teams are here. And I think I'm in agreement with both of y'all, right? Like I said, Duke lost at home, the final home game for Coach K against North Carolina. And what a better way to send out his old nemesis throughout his entire tenure, North Carolina, knock him out, than going out of the Final Four and into the championship game. I mean, North Carolina, don't get me wrong, they took care of business like they should have against the Peacocks flying high. What a great run that was. Like we said, Duke impressed me, though. They almost put up 80. They won by almost 10 points against Arkansas, who was a really good team in this tournament. And so I think, North Carolina, they've had a good run, but I think Duke gets the upper hand here. So I'm going to go with my championship. I'll give them a final score or a winner for the championship because that's for a later date. But I got Duke and I got Kansas because, like I said, Kansas, they beat Miami by, 25. So I think that's how it's going to be, a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed going at it in NOLA for the championship.
Yeah, God, you have Nova. I have Kansas and Duke. That's what I have going at it in my championship game.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Nova. I apologize. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's what God, that's gonna be a hell. Could you imagine? That's gonna be a hell of a game. Kansas and Duke. If Duke pulls off that win over Kansas, I'm serious, bro. That's gonna be one of the best teams ever because Kansas is just such an aggressively hard playing second half team too.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great game. That's who I think it's going to be as well.
Kansas and Duke.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 of the powerhouses going at it.
So does anybody have Duke pulling off the upset against Kansas? I'm gonna go right now. I'm going with it, man. I'm sticking with it.
I think we're gonna get a fitting send off. We'll go more into it next week. Also,
I'll tell you, man,
he's roasting you in the comments right now. I just hope you know that. He's also saying, he said Freddie Free was the reason you guys won it. They only won it for him. What do you mean won it for him? What do you mean wanted for him? It's not like he's ill. It's not like this is his last game ever. What are you talking about?
Wow. Man, Frankie's always roasted somebody, man. Jay looking like Mel is yelling at him, laugh out loud. Hey, listen, you'd be surprised how much I get yelled at. It's ridiculous.
Halftime, you didn't even do nothing.
Hey, listen, half the time I just give Melanie a confused look. That's like, listen, man, if you want to know how to win an argument with your wife, just give her a confused look. Just act like you don't really know what's going on. Like, just agree with everything they say and have a confused look on your face and everything. Because let me tell you something. Even if you are pissed off and don't agree with it, you can walk to your bedroom. You can put a little bit of Jack, a little bit of Coke, drink it, and you feel so much better, and you just don't give it. And you just save yourself a whole night of bad conversation, and you probably get some makeup sex. It's great. I'm just saying, confused look, Jack Daniels, you get makeup sex. I'm just saying, that's the way you deal with marriages. If you want to relax.
And for everyone out there, we're starting our spinoff show, Unscripted for Love, next week.
Hey, listen, that's what we do here, Logan. All right, we're gonna move on before I get in really serious trouble here. We're gonna move on to March Madness women.
Hey,
Let me tell you something, folks.
Frankie's agreeing with you, though. He said he's dying right now.
Hey,
he's in agreement.
Hey, listen, Frankie knows. Frankie's been married a while now. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm excited about even the win. I don't typically. Jay is so right. Laugh a lot. I'm dying right now. Hey, listen, because he knows it's true. Frankie knows it's true because Frankie has always a confused look, and he always has a little bit of liquor on the side. So, all right, listen. Every day, baby. And Logan, you're about to get married, so you might want to take notes. Copious notes.
I got just a sheet right near me. I'm just writing it down. Got a whiteboard.
But no, hey, look, let's talk about. I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't typically follow women's basketball all that much. I don't know. I just don't get into it all that much. But there are some incredible things to note about this Final Four for the women's that's getting ready to come up as well. And I'm gonna start off with South Carolina. I personally have South Carolina beating Louisville. I think Dawn Staley is doing some amazing things with this team. And if you know anything about South Carolina, last year in the Final Four, they lost. It was a bitter loss for them. And I think Dawn Staley has this team primed and ready to go. And I think they're going to take out Louisville. I look at the other flip side of things. I look at the UConn, and UConn is full of a lot of All-Americans on that team. And they're going up against the defending champs in Stanford. And I got to be honest with you, man. Even though typically I would go with the defending champs just because they're the champs, and I think you're always a champ until somebody shuts your mouth. But I think UConn's going to do that. I think UConn is going to shut Stanford's mouth, and Stanford played off a pretty decent win against Texas. I thought Texas played them pretty well, honestly, but I knew Texas really wasn't going to get past Stanford. I just didn't think they had it in them. But I think UConn takes out Stanford, and I think it's going to be UConn versus South Carolina in the championship game. And I just think this is Dawn Staley's year with South Carolina, and I feel like the Gamecocks and let's be honest, UConn went to double overtime, so you know this is going to be a gritty game. This is not going to be no blowout series for either one of these two games before the championship game. I mean, we're going to start getting down to the nitty-gritty good games. And I think this Final Four for the women's is going to be gritty. I think it's going to be well thought out. I don't think anybody's going to get blown out by any means. But I think that it's going to be UConn versus South Carolina in the championship game. And I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be watching this. I didn't catch so much of the Elite Eight or as much as I did, but I'm going to watch this Final Four just because there's a lot of good teams in it now, and I think it's going to be really competitive. Gonzo, your thoughts on the women's Final Four?
Well, the women's March Madness tournament has been good this year. I've actually watched more of it this year than I have in the past. And the Elite Eight yesterday, I watched a lot of those two games yesterday. The UConn NC State game, that was a hell of a game, like you said. Double overtime, and I watched some of the Michigan game last night. And man, hey, them girls are balling. More people need to start watching the March Madness tournament. I wish the NCAA would move the women's March Madness tournament where it's not the exact same time as the men's,
right?
Because then I think more people would watch it, and the women's March Madness tournament would grow. It don't make no sense to do them both at the same time. You're taking away from what. If you've done the women's by themselves, I think a lot more people would get behind it and watch more of it. But with that said, I think UConn's going to win it all this year. I think they made it past NC State barely, but I think they're going to be ready to play. I think UConn's going to take it all. But I do agree with you. I can see South Carolina beating Stanford.
Yeah, and that's so you got South Carolina versus Stanford. Ooh, okay. That's good. That's good. I'm telling you, it can go either way. That's how gritty I think it's going to be. Logan, your thoughts, my brother?
Man, I mean, we just talked about the men's tournament, but this women's tournament is even more stacked. I mean, you got 3 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four.
Yeah,
and I mean, I mean that's pretty solid. And I mean, UConn was number 2. That they beat NC State the other night, and like Chris said, a double overtime game, so it was a close game. So, I mean, you've got 4 teams here with a very rich, like, just outstanding program for women's basketball in college. UConn has made the Final Four 14 straight times, excluding obviously 2020 because they didn't have a tournament. They've made every Final Four since 2008.
Yeah, UConn in women's basketball is insane.
I mean, if you look at their Wikipedia, it's just a litany of numbers and championships. So I think that, I mean, UConn has, Paige Beckers, one of the best basketball players in the country, not men and women combined. And I like UConn, man. They're a good team. South Carolina solid too. Like I said, all of these teams have won a championship in the last 10 years or so. Man, I think just my predictions for this one, I'm going to go – I think South Carolina, I'm going to give them the slight edge because like you mentioned, Jay, they've been going pretty hot. I'm going to go South Carolina in the championship, and I like UConn, man. I just really like UConn. He said, tune in Saturday, we're going to have an unscripted battle royal for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who will become the – oh, okay. That's news to us. So,
okay.
Frankie. All right, Frankie. We'll figure something out.
Hey, Jay, I think it's going to be UConn and South Carolina in the championship game. I had the games backwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm with Kristen
because I think UConn's going to win the whole thing. But
I think they're due for it too because they haven't won a championship since 2016, and I think that they just got, as long as everyone stays healthy, right, and that's the main part. I think UConn can pull it out this year. But I mean, it's going to be some great. These next 2 games are going to be really good.
Yeah, more people need to tune in. More people need to tune in.
And like Chris said.
So I think we're in agreement that everybody has UConn versus South Carolina, and I know Gonzo has UConn winning the whole thing. Is that who you're going with as well, Logan? Are you going with UConn?
Yeah, I think the Huskies are going to get it this year. I think.
All right, I'm gonna be the odd man out. Then I'm definitely going South Carolina, and that way I can have bragging rights over both of you.
He said the one who wins the most picked matches wins the champion. Okay, so Frankie's already disqualified then, so he's not going to be on the show on tonight and Thursday. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, Frankie, you already shoot yourself in the foot here.
Yeah, you can't.
I think we'll do. Hey, Frankie will log on at 6. Hey, Frankie will log on at 6 o'clock, and Logan, I will have to give him all the matches again, and we'll get all of his additions, and then that way we're ready to go once it actually starts.
We'll do a final rundown on Saturday because I'm sure that there's going to be more matches added.
No, 6 o'clock, folks. We're going to make it like this. Hey, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Saturday. What time does it start? It starts at 7, right?
Let me double check real quick.
The main card starts at 8. I'm not sure on the pre-show.
Let me see here. Come on, WWE.com. Don't let me down.
Well, the picks that we're doing are going to be started at 8 o'clock, correct? The picks will start when the show starts at 8, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it starts at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Then we will go on at 7:15, 7:15, and we will do all the picks again for Frankie, and we're ready to roll right at 8 o'clock.
Hey, Logan, what time is the pre-show? Does it say?
I can check real quick. I will let you know in a minute.
Okay. I think it's 7. It might be, but my dad said
I would think it would be because they probably do it an hour beforehand.
Well, my dad said he thought they were doing a 2-hour one on Saturday night for some reason. So,
well, I'll look and see if I can figure something out here for you.
All right.
Well, Logan figures out the whole WrestleMania time slot scheduling and what time we're going to start. We will go on to Memphis's legal issues. Let's talk about this for a minute. So Penny Hardaway kind of got himself into a little bit of an issue with paying some players and then denying it and so forth of that nature. So now there's a lot of NCAA investigations getting ready to come down on Memphis, specifically more at Penny Hardaway. I don't know why they keep thinking they can get away with that stuff, man. Look, those cash payments that you're giving to these families, you know it's going to come back to bite you at some point. Has it not ever? I mean, every team that's ever done it has been burnt at some level. Now, of course, you can do it because now we got the NIL and they can go out and get their own endorsement. So it really probably won't be an issue going forward. But for Penny right now, he's in some hot water, man. Gonzo, what do you make of the Memphis situation? And do you think Penny comes out of it unscathed?
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Penny because, like you said, the rules have changed now where you can do they can do name and likeness stuff. So really what he was doing then now is not illegal, but back then it was, so he did break the rules. But how is NCAA going to come? How hard are they going to come down on him? I don't think they're going to come down on him very hard because of that reason. They've changed the rules, so they've kind of admitted that the rule was wrong to begin with. So I don't think he might get they might do some kind of punishment with like scholarship players and stuff like that. But I don't think they're going to come down on him real hard just because the rule has been changed.
Yeah. So you think he'll just be grandfathered into the new rule then?
Yeah. And they might take a couple scholarship players away from Memphis or some kind of sanction on Memphis for a year or two or something.
Right. Logan?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that just as Memphis was kind of getting built back up as a powerhouse, it seems like they're just, punching themselves in the gut. And I think they're, it probably won't be as harsh. There's still stuff that's going to be coming out about this, obviously. But I think they are going to get probably a fine. Like I said, they might lose some scholarships, so on and so forth. I don't think they're going to be banned from the March Madness, I don't believe, because like we mentioned, they do have the NIL deals and whatnot. So I think that just the fine, maybe lose some scholarships here and there, just kind of the typical procedure the NCAA does for stuff like this. But right. I honestly think that Penny's going to keep his job. I mean, there's no reports saying that he's going to lose his head coaching job and it's going to be vacant. So I think, like just to summarize, I think they'll probably just fine him a couple of $100,000, whatever, and whatever scholarship they were giving out to those players, those are going to be revoked.
Yeah, it's just a shame that right, like you said, right after he has a pretty decent March Madness run, then of course all this happens. So hopefully it will work out well for him and he will be able to continue on with his career, which I'm sure he will. Yeah. All right, we're going to NHL standings for a minute.
Hey, Jay.
And right now it looks like Carolina. What is Carolina's image again there, Logan?
Let me see here, Jay. Hold on.
Are they in
very
this
top right with the number 1.
Hey, Jay.
Okay.
Jay.
So it looks like Logan's team right now, as it currently stands now.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Damian Hernandez asked if you guys were doing stand and deliver.
I saw that. I didn't know what he was talking about when he said that.
Well, I looked that up. That's Saturday at 12. I'm going to be live on the Gonzo Sports Room channels doing stand and deliver, and like I said, I invited you guys to join us. So if you guys want, but that'll be at 12 on Saturday.
Yeah. So I checked, and both nights they're going to have the pre-show at 7 p.m. So an hour before the main. So the pre-show, all that starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know, Jay. We'll get on at like 6:15, 6:30, somewhere around that. We'll get it all figured out on Thursday. Yeah. But we'll be on about 30 minutes or so beforehand. Just make sure everyone's looking good. Everyone's got some hydration. Everyone's all looking good for the show.
Same thing on Saturday. We'll be live about 11:30. Just that way we make sure everybody's good and everything.
Yep. Like so that's going to be on Chris's channel for NXT, and it's going to be fun, man. But yeah, let's get back to these hockey stands, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying, so my Dallas Stars are sitting at the 4th seed right now, but this is just how it is right now. I think there's still quite a bit of games left to be played. There's like 15 games, I think it is, like 10 to 15 games, I believe, left to be played. So we'll see if these playoff standings hold accurate. But right now, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of fairly good teams. I think Dallas Stars, I don't know, man. Dallas isn't playing all that great this year. We're mid-level. I think Dallas is a mid-level team right now. So I expect them possibly to get past the Avalanche. But no, you know what? No, I'm not going to say that because Avalanche are ranked number 1 right now. I don't know, man, Logan. If it stays like this, I think the Stars are looking as as an early exit. I think your team is sitting at the number 1 spot. And you're going against Tampa Bay Lightning. You might have a better shot at it, brother.
Yeah, I just checked. There's exactly 1 month left in the season. The final games are all going to be played on April 29th, so 30 days from now. It's going to be some good games, like I said. So, I mean, we got some really good teams up here. Like you said, Jay, you're going up against the Avalanche at the moment. Looking at them, they have 98 points, which I believe is, it is the best. You're going up against the best team in hockey right now, Jay. So
exactly, and that's why I'm not expecting to go far in this tournament.
Yeah, it's all right though. Let's see, we got Minnesota going up against St. Louis with the Blues. Minnesota currently they got 84 points, and St. Louis is right behind them with 81. Actually moves into the 3 slot, so that we'll see how that goes and that changes. Calgary, the Flames, right? They've had a good season, 88 points. They're rocking. They're going on against the Sabres out there in Buffalo, I believe. Or no, sorry, that's the Nashville Predators. They've got 80, so that's going to be, it's going to be a pretty solid game there. Keep it going. We got the Kings and the Oilers right now. So the Kings second in the Pacific with 81 points, and the Oilers right behind them with 79. So they're going to be going back and forth.
That should be a pretty good series. That the LA and the Edmonton Oilers. That should be a good series.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. Like you said, Carolina going up against Tampa Bay right now. Tampa Bay, the defending champs. Carolina's had a really good season. They are second in the league in terms of points with 95. And then, Tampa's right there. They've got 88, so another good matchup. On the other side, we've got Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Pittsburgh, they've had a solid season so far. They've got 90 points. That's, top of the top pretty much. And then their opponents, man, like I said, the Rangers out there in New York, pretty much the only team in New York that's really doing much so far in terms of other sports going on right now, because the Knicks have blown it. The Nets are doing solid, but I mean, hey, in terms of with that New York moniker, at least the Rangers are doing pretty decent right now, sitting there in third in the Metropolitan with 89. So they're looking solid in the final 2 games. We got the Panthers and the Capitals. Panthers been good all season. I think that they can take that one. The Capitals, though, they got some experienced veterans. And then the final one, the Maple Leafs out there in Toronto, going up against the Boston Bruins. I mean, that's a toss-up because both those teams are currently tied at 87 points at the moment. And, we've got some pretty good matchups here, all in all. I mean,
I definitely think so.
There's not many games at the moment, right, with a month left, that there's a real big discrepancy, I think. They're all somewhat close. And, that's what you love to see for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see if Avalanche can actually hold on to that top spot. They can win it all. I mean, that'd be interesting to see. Gonzo, who's your team?
The Blue Jackets.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets, where they at?
They're not even in it, are they?
Yeah, they are not there. They are number 5 in the Metropolitan with 69 points. So you got some work to do.
Yeah, y'all definitely got some work to do, man. But I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, honestly, I think so we got about a month before the Stanley Cup even takes off, right?
Yeah, we got exactly 1 more month of regular season games.
Man, okay, well, maybe we'll have to wait and see what they do. But I'm not holding faith at all into my team. I'll be honest with you.
Maybe they can move up a little bit, Jay. You never know.
Blue Jackets are going to move up into the playoffs.
You think so? he's predicting it right now.
They're only a couple games.
That's East Coast.
A couple games behind the Capitals.
Yeah,
it's possible you could slide up in there.
69. Yeah, you just gotta get a good winning streak going, and there's still plenty of time to do that.
That's interesting. And then we got college baseball. I don't know if you can see that graphic too well.
Yeah, there wasn't that many good ones out there, Jay. Maybe put
get my magnifying glass out.
I was about to say, I can help read it for you. I've got the best eyes here on the program. Hey,
wait a minute. Are you calling us old?
I mean, I'm just saying I've got the fresh.
I know I'm old.
All right, gentlemen. So I'll read it out for you. Currently, number 1, Tennessee, 23-1 record. Wow, just phenomenal.
Hell of a start.
Arkansas, yeah, right. Arkansas, 18-4. They've got Oregon State at 3-17-5. Virginia, 22-2. And running at the top 5, Florida State, the Seminoles, 16-7. And then we have 6 through 10. We have Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Texas, Vanderbilt, and Ole Miss. At 11, we have Louisville, TCU at 12, LSU at 13, Florida at 14, Arizona at 15. 16 through 20, we've got Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish in there, Miami, North Carolina, Dallas Baptist, and Texas State. And then finally, the last 5, we have Oregon, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Gonzaga, and Connecticut. So, Jay, you've got a lot of Dallas, Texas-based teams.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I was just looking at that. There is a lot of Texas, and typically there is. I mean, Texas is known for football, and they usually have some pretty good baseball teams. Florida's always got some good baseball teams as well. I was trying to find. How, I don't think U of H is in this one. That's always a team I usually go for in baseball, but they're not doing very well.
To go for though. You've got some other teams you can root for. You've got Texas Tech. You've got Texas.
I'm probably going to want to go for Texas. That's typically who I go for if I don't go for Houston.
What about Dallas Baptist though, Jay? I mean,
Dallas Baptist. I don't know, man. Hey, listen, nothing against Dallas Baptist because hey, listen, I used to be a Baptist, but yeah, I think I'm going with Texas in this one. Just to be honest, I think I'm definitely going with Texas in this. Gonzo, who's your college baseball team?
I always root for IU or Ball State, but neither one of them are real great teams in the college rankings.
It is, that's how it is.
Do you have any teams in there?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to a few games for Georgia Tech, so I've always I hope they do good. But the team I usually go for is Coastal Carolina. They're not in there. They won a championship a couple of years ago. But hey, it's still early in the season. But man,
I am surprised. Oh, sorry. I am surprised that Vanderbilt is all the way down at 9 because they're usually one of the best teams in the country year in and year out.
Probably just got off to a slow start. I mean, they are 19-4. They were previously ranked 4th in this that I got the other night. So I mean, they probably lost, if I had to guess, and they dropped a few spots. But like I said, college baseball just started a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like I said, we'll be doing more updates, and hopefully Google or whoever can give some more graphics. This is all I could find, Jay. I'm sorry.
And interestingly enough, though, Coastal Carolina usually plays Houston quite a bit in different sports.
Whatever reason.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Coastal Carolina and Houston play. They do play quite a bit. But all right, hey, that's all right. Hey, like I said, college baseball just started. Or how long is college? Have they been up for about a month or two now?
I'd say about a month at most. Because they started whenever. Yeah, they started right around when the MLB negotiations ended. So it's been about a month, I would say.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's talk about some overtime changes in the NFL, man. Obviously, they look like they're going to approve the Tennessee and Indianapolis Colts rule changes or proposal rule changes. And basically, it's to give players an opportunity for both sides of the ball. So, and if you get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, then you win the game. I think that's the idea that what they're trying to do is give both teams an opportunity to win the game when it goes into overtime. Logan, how do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I think they said it's only going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, we're really
going to see it in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, I think it'll be good in the playoffs. Something different, add a little bit more, just more some height to it and some more valuability. But I like it. I'm cool with it. It's what they do in college. I've always liked that rule. So, I think it'll be fine. I'm excited to see how it can do in the first year. But I'm a fan of it personally, so I can't wait to see how it plays out. Gonzo,
how you feel about it, man? This is your Colts that have proposed this as well.
No, I like it for in the playoffs because, I mean, we've seen some teams lose games in overtime over basically a coin flip. Whoever gets the ball first, a lot of times you go down and score that touchdown. So I like the fact that they're going to give both teams a chance to possess the ball. And because I love it in college, them games get exciting when they go in overtime and both teams are going to get the ball. I think in the NFL it could be even more exciting, especially in a playoff game. You're in overtime,
right?
And you're in the third overtime because both teams keep matching each other. It just keeps building up and building up. Mm-hmm. I think it could be a good thing.
Yeah, I absolutely do think so as well. I like to see more competitive games in the playoffs. So. Yeah. If they can get this rule change, I'm assuming it's already been approved. They haven't said that it's gone anything differently, so it looks like it's going to probably get approved. So, Yeah, man, I'm definitely down for the overtime. I don't have any opposition to it as well. I never really liked the whole thing where you only get one shot at it, and the whole sudden. I like sudden death. I get sudden death, but at the same time, I like to see give the opportunity to both sides of the ball.
It's kind of like what Damian said in the comments. He said they need to do it for the season and the playoffs because these draws are stupid and confusing.
Yeah, they really are. They honestly really are. All right, folks. We're moving right along. Winner, chicken dinner. Boston takes over number 1 seed in the East.
Well, they did.
Did anybody see this happening, though? Honestly. Did anybody see this coming? Because I didn't see this coming. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think Boston. I knew Boston was, they were making a comeback. I knew they were winning quite a few games back to back on a good win streak. But I had no idea that they were going to go all the way up to the number 1 spot.
Yeah. Well, they had it for a short time, Jay. Now they're back at the 4 seed in line with about 4 other teams. So they didn't have it. They blew it. Right now they are tied with Milwaukee and the Sixers for that 2 seed at the moment. Miami's did good. They got all 3 of those teams lost last night, so that's why. And Miami got the win, so they got another game on them. But man, people say the West is good basketball, but look at the East, right? I mean, the top 4. I guess top 5. I mean, that's some really good. That's competitive right there. That's what I like to see. But I mean,
it really is, and it's only like 1 game difference. So you're probably going to see a lot of fluctuation at the number 1 spot in the East until somebody really takes over.
Damien said Boston still nothing to be afraid of. I will say they did lose their center, Robert Williams.
I was going to say that's a big loss.
That is going to hurt them. I mean, he's their hustle guy. He can get you points, mostly defensive wise, rebounds. So that is going to hurt them, especially in the playoffs. So I think obviously they're going to make the playoffs, but I could see them being more of a 4 seed thing where they're at than maybe going up to 3 or 2, just because, I mean, that's a big guy you're losing there. That's one of your centers, and I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. But I mean, they're still real good as long as Tatum, Brown, Smart, as long as all of them are doing good. I still think they got a really good chance in the playoffs to make a pretty good run. But having, with the news come out that Williams is going to be out for the year, that definitely hurt their chances in my eyes, I think.
And I tell you, man, it's interesting because it's only a 1-game separation between the 1 seed and the 4 seed. So
yeah,
I think it's up for grabs for anybody who wants the number 1 seed. And honestly, even at number 5, they're only 4 games back. So I don't know if number 5 can catch it. I don't know if they have enough games left in the season for them to catch it, on that kind of a streak. But I do think that the top 4 teams all can vie for that number 1 spot. Obviously.
And also too, Jay, let me say something about this where you can get Chris's thoughts. 5 through 7 are only separated by 1 game. Also, Chicago and Toronto are tied at 43 and 32, and then Cleveland, who's been hanging around at 7th seed, they're only 42 and 33. So I mean, you have 7 teams all within about a game of each other, and so I mean, the playoff, the standings could flip on their head in 2 nights, pretty much, right? So it's going to be crazy. Because I mean, the West is pretty much decided, right? I mean, Phoenix, obviously, there's a lot more separation there, but in the East, that's where it gets real interesting.
No, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you, Gonzo. What's your thoughts on this whole Boston situation and how tight the East is right now between seeds 1 through 4?
I think Boston is in danger of falling back to maybe the 6th or 7th seed with losing Williams. I think Williams is a real big loss. Because I agree with Logan. I don't see him moving up, but I can see him having trouble holding on to this 4 seed because they really don't have a lot of depth at that position. At a big guy like that, so that's not only hurts him depth wise, but it's also going to hurt him defensively if your other guy gets in foul trouble, you're not going to have no size to bring in. So I think the Celtics are going to struggle to keep up with the top teams in the East because of that injury.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They were playing their best ball at the right time, so it kind of sucks because they were starting to really play good.
They're probably one of the better teams in the second half, and I mean, with 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before the playoffs, it's really going to hurt. But Frankie said, looks like all of our teams won't make it unless the Atlanta. I don't know where they're at. Atlanta is currently 10, so I'm still in the playoffs. I'm still hanging on by a thread. Indiana's already got eliminated. Chris, I'm sorry. Jay, your team's already been done. But hey, you got Jalen Green. He's looking good.
Hey,
good.
Nice when you say that.
I gave you a compliment right. I gave you a compliment right behind it. All right.
Okay.
And I mean,
I'm a little sore about that.
We're hanging on by a thread. 10 seed battling the Knicks. The Knicks are, they've gotten hot. They've won 4 games in a row. But the Hawks, they're battling them off. There's about a 4 or 5 game difference there. So I think they can definitely hold on to it as long as they don't fall apart. Hopefully. So I think that coming into 10 seed, regroup this all season and see what you can do. But I'm the lone survivor here because Frankie, the Lakers are currently they're at 10, but you're only half a game up on the Spurs. So,
and matter of fact, while we're BSing each other, they don't even have Anthony Davis.
Hey. I said Lakers are going to be the 10 seed. Nah, I've stuck with that. It's in my gut, guys. I got to go.
I don't think they're going to be the 10 seed. I think they're missing the playoffs. I just don't think they're making it. So LeBron's not playing tonight.
After they blew that lead against the Pelicans, I almost changed my mind on that, Chris. That was embarrassing.
And then you have LeBron not playing tonight, and Davis isn't back either.
He twisted his
ankle. You don't have Anthony Davis or Bron.
His ankle was messed up. His ankle.
Yeah, you don't have Anthony Davis or Bron.
I did see that Zion Williamson at least traveled with the team for the Pelicans, so at least he's making somewhat of a chance to be social and have fun with the team.
So just a heads up on the Lakers game. It's 23-12 with 5.5 left to play in the first quarter. And like I said, there's no Bron or Davis.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Dallas Mavericks. So the Dallas Mavericks are going to win that game. Listen, so that's my point. So if they lose tonight, and then let me see. I forgot who.
Spurs. Who are the Spurs playing?
That's what I was about to see. Who the Spurs are playing.
Let me see. We're gonna have a race, Jay, to see who can get there quicker.
Man, listen.
The Spurs are currently playing the Grizzlies at 8:30 tomorrow night. So I think the Grizzlies.
You can hang that Spurs game up.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies are gonna win that one. There's a reason they're a top 3 team in the West. So I think even if the Lakers lose tonight, I think the Spurs will lose tomorrow. And I would just kind of, counteract them.
All right, baby. What we all waited for. WrestleMania Night 1 predictions. Yeah. Logan, you are on deck.
All right, guys. So I'll run down the card first. Like I said, nothing's set in stone. There's still a couple of nights left. But I'll go down the card, and then we'll go one by one who we think is going to win. For our initial picks, these aren't our final picks. These are just currently at the date of, March 29th at 7:49. All right, so for the card I see here on CBSSports.com for night 1 of WrestleMania, in no particular order, we have the Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, The Miz and Logan Paul versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio, Seth Rollins versus a mystery opponent, Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, we have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, versus Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. And those are all the matches. They do have Stone Cold appearing on the KO show, but that is not officially listed as a match. So we got about 6 matches or so for night 1.
Yeah, that's about right.
So we'll start from the top, gentlemen. I'll get your thoughts first, and I'll give mine. For the Raw Women's Championship, the champion, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Chris, I'll let you go first. Who do you got in that one? Do you have a new champ, or will the man walk out with the title?
I think Belair is going to get the title and have her big WrestleMania moment this weekend.
Okay.
It's going to be a good match. I like the storyline. I like that they had Belair cutting her hair on Raw last night. I think they've built the story up good, and I think these two together they're going to put on a show. I expect it to be a good match, but I'm going with Belair to get the victory.
Frankie is going with Becky Lynch. Like, so these aren't official yet. Where these are initial predictions. Jay, who's currently going through a cold at the moment. Who do you have?
Man, I'll tell you what. Saw this pollen out here in Georgia. I'm going with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is going to take it, man. Look, I think she set it up in Monday Night Raw when she cut old girl's hair, when she tried to cut her ponytail, and I absolutely think that Bianca Belair takes that one.
Frankie bringing up the point, said Belair had her Mania moment last year. But you see, I'm in agreement with both Chris and with Jay. I think Bianca gets the title because, Chris, if you remember, back at SummerSlam when Becky Lynch returned, she won in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And they've been kind of building it ever since. And it would make the most sense for me if you give it back to Bianca, get that, that final punch to her, that slap in the face a la Will Smith, and get the title back at WrestleMania. So I think Bianca.
They took the title from her quick.
Yeah. So I think that they were probably planning to this, and it's going to be a good match overall. All right, let's keep it moving, gentlemen. We have one of these many celebrity matches on this card. Still no mid-card titles. I don't know why. We have The Miz and internet celebrity and famous boxer Logan Paul versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio in a tag team match. So no titles on the line, just a grudge match between the hard-hitting Logan Paul and The Miz against, a legend of Rey Mysterio and his son, Dominic. Jay, who do you got winning this one?
Yeah, Logan Paul did a lot of running around and not a whole lot of fighting Mysterio and his son when they met last night on Raw. So given that output and given the fact that Mysterio beat Wiz and pinned him, I still think Miz is going to put up a good front, but Logan Paul is just not going to bring anything to the table, I don't think. And I think, of course, this is scripted, but I think that Mysterio and his son are going to win. I think they're going to win again, for sure.
Jay, if you say that again, we're kicking you off your own show. But
I'm sorry. I know.
You can't say it's scripted on a show called Unscripted. That's just blasphemy.
It is blasphemy, damn it.
Chris, who do you got in this tag team matchup here that only a few people probably care about?
I'm going to go with The Miz and Logan Paul. Mysterio's got to win that Elimination Chamber. I think Miz is going to get the win this time. They'll probably cheat to win. Miz will probably cheat to win, or something will happen. But I think Miz and Logan Paul are going to get the win.
I'm in agreement with Chris. I will go with The Miz and Logan Paul only because we're going to see headlines the next day. Logan Paul wins at WrestleMania. Logan Paul he hits a suplex on Rey Mysterio, wrestling legend.
They'll be all over social media.
Bingo.
It's like at Monday Night Raw. Why didn't Logan Paul actually do some wrestling moves? All he did was run away. He did absolutely no wrestling moves.
No. See, Jay, he's playing that cowardly heel, and probably in his contract, they don't want him to do anything physical until WrestleMania. I mean, I know he's hit a few moves here and there, but I think that at WrestleMania, we're going to see a moment where everyone's going to be walking around. He gets the big tag. The fans are going to boo him and throw beer and soda and pretzels at him because everyone hates him.
Right.
And he's going to get a good bit of offense in. And I don't think he'll get the win because that would crush whoever loses that. So I agree. I think The Miz will get the win in this one. He'll probably cheat to win, foot on the ropes or hold the tights, whatever. And the bad guys will win that one.
Oh, by the way, Frankie's put up one of his championship belts to the winner.
Oh, sweet. What are you saying, Chris?
Raw last night was in Pittsburgh, right?
I think so.
This makes no sense. Why did they have McAfee come out last Monday night and not this Monday night? Because Pittsburgh's his hometown. It would have made more sense to have him come out and mess with Theory in his hometown than do it the week before.
Is SmackDown in Pittsburgh?
I'm not sure where SmackDown's going to be.
I would hope it would be. That would make most sense, but you never know.
Well, no, it's not going to be because I would say it's going to be in Texas because of they're doing the Hall of Fame right after it.
Right. Oh well. All right. We got Seth Rollins versus to be announced. More than likely it's going to be Cody Rhodes, but like I said, we don't really know, so it's kind of hard to predict. So Jay, you're going to go with the mystery opponent, or will Seth Rollins get the win? Because Seth will find out when we all find out when he's in the ring.
I've seen a couple of things where it had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in the same pick, and I think you're right. I think it probably most likely will be Cody Rhodes.
That's what it's looking.
And okay, so now you got to think. Okay, Vince McMahon granted Seth Rollins the right to be in WrestleMania. So you got to wonder which way are they going to write the story? Are they going to write it for Seth Rollins because to take it, or do they want Cody Rhodes to take it and kind of that would be his introduction back into WWE? I'm going to go with the latter. I think Cody Rhodes takes it. I think they do that to write him back into WWE, and because it's not a championship match, it's just a match. So I think they have Cody Rhodes win it coming back into WWE. And that would be his way back in. And I think him and Seth Rollins, that could be a feud between him and Seth Rollins, and then that could line up some matches going forward with that.
Chris,
so I'm going to go Cody Rhodes.
Look at Jay getting used to the business. I like it. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm going to go with the mystery opponent because I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. I think they'll have him win, but I could see this is another one where I could see one of them either getting disqualified or something that happened and even build that story up more for.
Yeah, you can even do that too. You go that
maybe
route.
Get a count out or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if it's not Cody Rhodes, guys. Imagine if it's like Shane McMahon or someone that no one expects. That would crush everyone's heart. I think it'll be Cody. It's looking like it's going to be Cody. I think that the mystery opponent will win because, I mean, come on. How do you have a mystery opponent? They come out and they lose. At least I don't think they'll lose clean. And like you said, like Jay said, I think that this will be the start to a rivalry they can do for a couple of months, and they can build it around that. So I will rock with the mystery opponent, getting the win in that one.
Because how crazy could this be if they brought Steve Austin back into the fold, or for this, at least for this game, this WrestleMania, and brought Cody Rhodes into it? I mean, you're talking about a really hyped up WrestleMania.
No doubt. All right, we're going on to probably a piss break match, or this is where we go and get our snacks and whatnot. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin, who they've been fighting each other for 6 months now. Chris, who wins this one? Do you care?
Not really, other than the fact I think the WWE's kind of screwed over McIntyre a little bit because he carried them through the pandemic. And they've never really gave him that moment of being the champ and having that reign where fans are there. He carried them when there was no fans, and as soon as the fans came back, they just kind of tossed him to the side. I do think McIntyre wins this match, but yeah, I've always felt they kind of done him wrong on that because he'd done a hell of a job during the pandemic, and they just kind of shunned him to the side once the fans came back.
Also, what's going on? Our guy Lennon tuning in. Nice to see another familiar face from ASAP on board. Jay, who do you got winning this one? Do you got?
I'm kind of a Drew McIntyre fan. I like Drew McIntyre. I would like to see him get the win over Happy. But I think what he's saying about Happy or about Drew kind of getting the shaft a lot of times is probably true. But you know what? I'm gonna stick it. I'm gonna stick with that storyline. I still think that maybe this is the one where they have Drew McIntyre turn it around a little bit and get some momentum going on his name. So I'm gonna go Drew McIntyre.
Hey Jay, do you know that that Happy Corbin is a former football player?
He is.
I did not know that. Who did he play for?
He was on the Colts practice squad for a little while. I think Arizona. I think he was on Arizona's team for a little bit. If I remember correctly.
I don't know if he had any.
There's a lot of former football players though in the wrestling environment. Oh, yeah. Even The Rock played college football.
Oh yeah, The Rock played football. Roman Reigns played football at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm gonna go. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with McIntyre getting the win. Might get him in the. Might put him back in the main event picture, Chris. Right? Might be good.
Yep.
So I think that's what's going to happen in this feud, and then have I don't know, maybe Corbin and Moss go at it. Maybe they can break them up. We'll see. But yeah, I got McIntyre getting the win. All right, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. A match that was just thrown together about 2 weeks ago. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, who are the champs, get up against Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. Are we getting new champs, or are the Usos retaining? Jay, your thoughts?
I'm going to go with the Usos retaining. I don't think it's time for them to let it go just yet. I think the Usos will retain that. Nakamura, I get it, but no, I think the Usos retain this one.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Usos retain as well. I don't think they're going to make Nakamura and Boogs the tag team champions at this point.
Not at WrestleMania, I don't think.
No.
Because that would be kind of a shame. Frankie's got the Usos winning. I'm also going to stick with the Usos winning. If they were to ever lose the titles to them, it would be on like a SmackDown or another pay-per-view, but not at WrestleMania, I don't think. So I will go with the Usos retaining the tag titles. All right, in the final match, official match, the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Charlotte Flair is the champion. So, Chris, I'll let you kick things off. We're getting a new champion, Ronda, or will Charlotte retain?
Just because just because of what they'll probably do, I'm going to say Rousey's probably going to be the new champ. Personally, I hope it's Charlotte Flair. I hope Charlotte retains. But I can see him giving it to Rousey. But either way, I think they're going to keep this feud going, especially since Rousey just got back. So, but I'm going to go with Flair. I'm changing my mind. I'm going with Flair.
Okay. All right, you heard it there first. All right, Jay, who do you got?
Yeah, I would like to see Charlotte Flair win just because I'm a big Ric Flair type fan. So I like to see it, keep it in the family. But at the same time, Ronda Rousey, I think that it's just her time. I think it's Ronda Rousey's time. And I think they're going to change it up and give it to Ronda and bring in some new blood into the championship realm.
This one's kind of tough. I think personally I'm going to go with Charlotte because, I don't know, Chris, it feels like Ronda just hasn't really put her all into it. Her promos ain't that good. It seems like she's not interested. And I don't want a champion who's half-hearted. And that's kind of how it's been on recent weeks. But it is WrestleMania, and Ronda has, I think, won the title there before, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, she won the Royal Rumble out of nowhere. I think I'm gonna go for now. I think Ronda will win. You never know what's gonna happen on SmackDown, but I think Ronda will win, get the title because who knows how long she's under contract for, and they'll stretch this out for a little bit longer. I think. Going into who knows, maybe the next pay-per-view or so. So
SmackDown should be kind of telltale. So SmackDown should be the telltale sign then.
Yeah, that's when we're gonna get that final build is Friday night. So we'll
ask you a question. Do you think that Ronda Rousey maybe she just doesn't have the acting ability to bring out that character?
I mean,
like maybe she's a good fighter and she can do all the moves, but she just doesn't have that acting ability to carry forth.
I mean, even in the UFC, Jay, she wasn't a big talker, right? She was more of that silent assassin. I'm going there and put you in an armbar, and I mean that's fine. That's all good, but like you said, she doesn't have that charisma, especially on the mic that you got to have in wrestling. Like she's great. She's good in the ring, obviously. I mean, she's not much of a wrestler because, I mean, obviously she was in MMA, but just the presence you get with her, the aura you get with her, that's all in the ring, but it's the promos, it's the outside stuff that she struggles with. I mean, like I said, she's still learning. I don't know how much longer she's wanting to do all this for. But in the short term, I mean, like you said, it's just it is what it is. Chris, what do you think? Has her return this second go round been kind of underwhelming to you compared to the first one?
Yeah, I agree it hasn't. But I was also going to say what they need to do is put someone like Paul Heyman with her, give her a mouthpiece. Give her a mouthpiece, and I think that would help her a lot because, like you said, she does fine in the ring and stuff. It's the other things. If you put somebody like Paul Heyman, a good manager with her, I think that would really help if she had a mouthpiece to help.
Also,
I think one of the best mouthpieces is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is just good at that job, man. Like the way he presents himself, the way he presents the character. I mean, he does a really damn good job of it.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Those are all then we have Steve Austin coming on, and they're gonna have a segment. So we learned, Jay, that segment with Stone Cold and Kevin Owens, like I said, it's not a match. They haven't said it's a match. It's gonna be just like an interview segment. It's probably gonna be a brawl. That's going to be the final thing you're going to see at WrestleMania Night 1. That's going to be the main event slot is that segment. Because, I mean, obviously, if Stone Cold, it's his hometown. So they're going to have him come out at the very end and do that talk show. I see it with Austin, getting a few stunners in there, drinking some beer, ending the night off with a bang Night 1 going into Night 2. Anything different from
what city is WrestleMania in, Logan?
It's in Texas.
Oh, it is in Texas.
Oh,
Okay,
it's in I think is it
Dallas, AT&T
Dallas.
Stadium.
Yeah. So
It's AT&T. Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, they're gonna have Stone Cold out there drinking beer, hitting stunners, and sending
I
the
think,
fans home happy night one.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to be doing that KO show. There's going to be a brawl, and I think it's going to lead to Kevin Owens and Stone Cold in a match on night 2. Is what I think.
That could be something.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to end WrestleMania 1 with that big build, and then have them two in a match.
Yeah.
For one, I don't see him putting them at the main event spot if it's not building for something else. And Stone Cold don't have to be the main event spot because he's going to get that big pop no matter when you bring him out.
Right.
And I don't see Stone Cold. I don't see Stone Cold coming back to WrestleMania just to do a KO show kind of like interview thing. I think if he's going to come back, he's going to get in the ring one more time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, that is all of the matches for night 1. Tune in Thursday for night 2 predictions. Jay, what's our next and probably final topic, I think?
Yes, sir. Let's get into the last topic of the night, which is our wrestling historical match, which is Edge versus Jeff Hardy versus Triple H. And I will tell you this, guys. This is what I took away from watching this. Number one, Jeff Hardy came out pretty damn quick. Like, he established himself pretty quick. When I watched it, he came off of it. He went right at Triple H. He went right at Edge, and he took it both to him really quick. And then, of course, then you had, at some point in the match, you had, what's that guy's name? Dadgum, I know I wrote it down. Oh, Kozlov the Russian. And you had, there was another guy that came in as well. You had 2 different people that came in and tried to intervene on the match. I wrote down Kozlov the Russian, and I forgot to write down the other guy's name. But then they kind of tried to disrupt the match. But at the end of the day, yeah, Jeff Hardy who hit Triple H and Edge with the chairs. Then you had Hardy basically who never gave up. Hardy wins and pins. I think it was Triple H maybe the pinned. I'm not 100% sure on that because I didn't write it down. But I know Jeff Hardy wins that match. But it was pretty good. There was a lot of high flying. There was a lot of back somersault flips off the turnbuckle. But at the end of the day, though, Jeff Hardy did take that win. Chris.
Oh, it was a good match choice. But anytime you get Triple H, Jeff Hardy, and Edge together, they're going to put on a show. I mean, that's 3 of the better guys that's stepped in the ring. I'm a big Edge fan anyway, so having Edge in the match always makes it a good match for me. But I don't think Triple H really gets some of the respect he deserves because he married Vince's daughter and all that. But hey, Triple H could go in the ring, and if you add in his wrestling mind, he's one of the top ones up there that's been in the business. And then Jeff Hardy is one half of one of the best tag teams that's ever done it. So I mean, you get them 3 in the ring, it's always going to be a great match. They're going to put on a show.
Oh, absolutely, Logan.
Yeah, good match. Jeff Hardy was red hot during this time. He finally got his big championship match here, got the win after losing a couple times. And it was good at the end, right, when Triple H hit the pedigree. It was zoomed in, like he was going to retain, get the win. Then here comes Jeff Hardy, hits his finish, knocks off Triple H outside, gets the win 1, 2, 3. And it was a good match overall. Like I said, I haven't watched it in a while. And like I said, Thursday, do another Triple H match since he just recently retired. But yeah, it was a good match overall. And the other one, Jay, you couldn't think of was Matt Hardy. His brother.
Matt Hardy, that's what it was. It was his brother that came out.
And I think last I checked, Kozlov is doing like acting now, and he's like shredding. So his wrestling run didn't go that well, Jay. He was built up to be like the next big monster. Had like undefeated streak for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Never won a championship at all. Maybe a tag team championship. He was at like he was only main event role for about 6 months, and then they couldn't figure out what to do with him. Then they turned him into a comedy character with Santino Marella, I believe, and then his career went to death, and he's been doing acting for a couple of years now.
Santino Marella.
At least he's successful. So yeah, that was like I said, good match overall, and I'll we'll think of another one for Thursday, but good match.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Unscripted. And final thoughts for everybody. Gonzo, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just join us Thursday for night 2 predictions on WrestleMania. And ready for WrestleMania. It's going to be a big week, big wrestling weekend between the NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania, WWE Hall of Fame. SmackDown's going to be good Friday night, being the SmackDown before WrestleMania. And then Raw is always real good after WrestleMania. So this whole week, there's a lot of great wrestling going on if you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah. And then add on to it, Chris. Add on to all the wrestling, Chris. Ring of Honor is making its return to pay-per-view on April 1st. So they're having their first show back in a long time. Like I said, we got NXT, WrestleMania, Night 1, Night 2, the Hall of Fame. We'll on Thursday, we'll break down who all's going into the Hall of Fame, because we just heard yesterday that Rick and Scott Steiner are finally going in as a tag team. So that's going to be fun. We'll go through all of the inductees on Thursday, though. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. Like I said, we got four shows of Unscripted, so it's gonna be a fun week, man. And looking forward to it. This is just the beginning, so can't wait for Thursday's show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you've heard it below, man. We got WrestleMania coming up on Saturday. You got NXT coming up on Friday. Am I right? Friday, correct? Am I right, Gonzo? Friday?
Yeah, NXT.
Yeah, so you have NXT on Gonzo Sports Room coming up on Friday.
Yeah,
or Saturday, I apologize. Saturday at noon. It's at noon on Saturday. I apologize. So you have NXT Saturday at noon on Gonzo Sports Room. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. We got a lot of wrestling. We got a lot of Unscripted. We got a lot of Gonzo Sports Room. I mean, if you guys are into wrestling, this is the week to really have a lot of fun and tear it down with us. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. Until next time on Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, we will get night 2 of wrestling predictions. It's Jay, Logan, Chris, Gonzo, and Unscripted. Telling you, see you later. Have a good night, my brothers.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces.